Good morning and welcome to Sips of Sanity. I'm Kelly.
Good morning. I'm Karen.
We are on day 1 of October, which is frightening. It came that fast. But this month we are doing check-ins. So it's something that we are a big advocate for in all of our emotional intelligence and intuitive intelligence workshops and also in all of our podcasts. And we preach it every day. So we're going to break it down into the 5 shows. We're going to talk about check-ins within your relationship, so your significant other and yourself. We're going to talk about it between parent and child. Also in your friendships, because that's important too. As well as good, healthy check-ins that you can do within your own career. And lastly, with yourself. Good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to do these.
Good.
I'm just coming off of a cold, so I'm just going to say now that my voice is, I was going to say like a boy in puberty. My voice is cracking, and sometimes it's booming and strong, and sometimes it's weak. And okay. So what I thought we could do is ask each other questions and actually talk about it to some degree, like what we normally do on the show, but also give people the actual questions and engage. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think for some people, it's going to be very fundamental. If you're already in it, then maybe today is just a good affirmation to know that you're doing a good job. And maybe it's a reminder that you might be asking the questions, but it's also good to check in with a partner and ask them if they can ask them to you as well.
Okay. This can go all over the place, Kelly.
Yeah.
So do you want me to begin?
Sure.
Okay. I think one of the first questions when we're going to pretend now that we're actually in the relationship. Is that what you're saying?
You and me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that right? We're partners?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You're my good-looking guy.
Don't make it weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think one of the questions, because this is not the self thing, but I still want to bring it in is this relationship giving me energy or is it draining my energy? Am I exhausted? Am I sick? Is my partner exhausted? Is my partner sick all the time? Good?
Yeah, I think it's important to elaborate because someone who is with a partner who is sick, maybe has a chronic illness or something like that, they might be sitting there going, whoa, what do you mean?
That's fair. Okay, then I'm going to say 2 separate things. When I say have the energy versus sick, let's separate them.
Good.
So if I have the energy for this person, whether I have an illness or not, means do I look forward to their company?
There we go.
Means when I engage in a conversation with them, am I frustrated all the time? Or do I feel like they listen? So if they listen to me, does that fill me up? Do I feel good? Or do they just give me all of the answers? I used to do that when I was a people pleaser and a fixer. I used to hear, I'll say Andrew as an example, but you're my husband, so you're my partner. So I would say that I would listen with the intention of trying to fix instead of just recognizing that I could just be your listener and know that if you don't say otherwise, that's all I'm supposed to do. I'm just supposed to listen.
Yeah. One of the great resources is one of our previous shows on emotional intelligence, and that was the I see you, I hear you, I know you, I feel you, I understand you, because that is all about validation. And so in that, I'll say lesson plan almost, you're understanding how you can meet people's needs in many different ways, right? So that, like you're saying, they feel filled up.
So if I go back to the original question, does this relationship give me energy? Or does my partner's behavior towards others or towards myself or towards themselves drain me? Do I always have to find a way afterwards to get my energy back after I've been with them? I think that's really important because some people don't realize when they go to work or when they're going out into other aspects of their lives why they're always exhausted. And sometimes we blame the job.
Yeah.
we talk about that the work is too much when in fact it's not. The job performance appraisal might be that you're doing well, or that you're good at your job, or it's easy for you. So we've noticed you're exhausted. How come? It's not from the job. And we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that it's from the relationship. Because then we might have to actually start dealing with it, right? So that brings me to let's go to the next part that I said. So I'm not really all over the place. I said sick. Because if we stay in relationships that consistently drain our energy, eventually we become sick. And it can become a pattern. So your boss might notice that in the last 6 months, you've been off 8 times. That's when we can look at the lack of energy so that our immune system isn't strong.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody with MS or fibromyalgia or something, or cancer, or whatever they're dealing with, an injury or whatever it is, saying that all of you have partners that are draining you. I'm not making that statement.
Yeah, that's a statement we make on a one-on-one basis in a treatment.
That's correct. Because it could be that is true, but for the purpose of this show, because we're not doing personal session for the person listening right now, that they have to go, okay, then maybe the difference is, do I need to check in with coworkers or myself, or do I need to book an appointment with them to ask them, oh, geez, is that my life?
So can we keep moving?
Yeah.
One of the questions I really like to ask is, does my partner stimulate me? And if you're my husband right now, conversations are stimulating.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Even just updates, hearing about your life is stimulating. It's exciting. I'm excited for you. I can feel that kind of bubbling up when I know that we're going to debrief about a day. Our questions that we ask each other are, what do you look forward to today? Or what are you excited about tomorrow? And so even though it might be a mundane day, it might just be a run-of-the-mill work day, the answers from that person may be something like, well, I'm really looking forward to my coffee in the morning, and I'm really looking forward to the lunch break that I get today because it's this food, and I'm really looking forward to walking the dog after work, and I'm looking forward to redoing my flower bed. And so they don't end up focusing on the mundane parts. They actually get to indicate where their interests lie. And that's the part that engages you, right? And I'll say, not on the contrary, but in the same breath, some people will say, I'm just really looking forward to an easy day. Maybe it is a run-of-the-mill day, and maybe you're feeling well or you're not feeling well, but what you're looking for is the predictability. And that can be great too, right? But the undertone in what the answers are is gratitude. Right? Gratitude and engagement. So if you're with someone who is disengaged from life, they're likely disengaging from you. And the check-ins that you are going to attempt, if you're looking at dealing with this, may not get you very far in terms of re-engaging, but it may get you to your answers about a partner who doesn't want what you want. And that's a good check-in too, right? Because finding out what isn't possible is important. Finding out limitations is important.
That's good. I like how you say, how you're looking at, do my partner and I engage? Do we, I'll rephrase it, do we connect to each other? Or if I ask them something, are they so vague in their answers that or do they divert? Do they change the subject?
Or is it just like flat? And you say to someone, how's your day? Good.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, one word answer. Or you always ask me that, or whatever it is, but does your partner actually connect to you? Because we can be good partners in the sense of, I pick the kids up, you cook the dinner.
Teamwork.
We can be good teams, and we do want teamwork in our partnership, but some people, that's all they've got. They've got great partnership, and that's what they're afraid of losing if they leave the relationship.
Is the operational function.
That's correct. Because everything flows on that. They're afraid of losing that other person. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do without them. But meaning I don't know what I would do without their body.
Because I can't get it all done.
Yes,
Yeah.
as opposed to, but do we still connect?
Can I move on?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I want to say one before I forget it.
Sure.
Does my partner grow? And I'm going to say that in the sense of growing, meaning that they find their own ways to grow, not always as a couple, but do they find their own way to grow? So do they read? Do they attend different things? Do they have stimulating conversations with other people? Or does it all have to be just us, just the two of us? Do they problem solve through their growth? Or if you and I are fighting and I keep saying the same thing to you, then I'm not being a healthy partner. If every time you ask me the same thing, I just want to pull my hair out and I say the same thing over and over, and so do you. Well, now we're looping in a pattern that's going to destroy us. So do I have a partner who actually goes off and tries to find some ways to problem solve? Because if I wait for you to do all the problem solving, then now we're enabling each other. Now
And we're also now into the parent-child
Yes,
relationship.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I just made you put on mommy panties instead of your sexy girl panties. Oh, you're my husband. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're shifting roles now. So I guess that can lean into another nice question. Do I force my partner to wear mom panties or dad panties in this relationship? Because that means they're taking off partner panties.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's another one. Do I make them wear counselor panties? Do I make them solve my problems? Do I go to them just to solve my problems instead of going to therapy? Or going to a good book or a good podcast or a good resource? Okay.
I wanted to say too that all of the questions that we've asked so far have been, do I? But these are questions where you can just reword it and also ask your partner, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel I listen? Do you feel interrupted? Do you feel supported? Right? What do you want to grow in this year? Right?
Well, Kelly, I want these conversations this check-in for every person listening to be able to take it in two ways. Every single question that we ask and self-reflection, do I in the relationship and does the partner in the relationship? It has to go both ways. That's what we're trying to point out. If one of you is doing it, there's a parent-child relationship instead of partnership.
I remember Eric asking me, do you question our relationship? And I said, every day.
Yeah.
And he was
good.
like, what? And I said, every day I ask myself if I want to be here. And
Good.
he was like, why? And I said, because I need to make sure I want to be here.
Yeah.
I said, it's a good question. It's just an evaluation. It's not that you can have or have to have one foot out the door. It's that you keep measuring all the time to make sure that your needs are met.
And that you know what your needs are. But that will be on day 5. We'll go into that one.
I think about a house plant, just like, sticking your finger in the soil, just seeing if it's like bouncy and moist, right? And it's like, okay, I don't need to water that. It's doing well today. But if you stick it in there and you're like, it's like, okay, I could probably like wait another day or two. Well, are you keeping it starving? Are you withholding something from it? Are you just keeping it, subpar, where it doesn't really get to bloom or flourish? Like, no, you got to water shit.
I like that you just called Eric a plant and shit.
He would totally appreciate that.
Oh, I know he would. He'd find it all funny, but humor. Okay. So do you have more questions?
Oh, I have so many more questions. But I do know that our reflective questions are also in the rest of our Patreon tiers. So there's only so much that we can really get done in 10 to 15 minutes for each show. I just want to add in, and I kind of mentioned it, but one of my favorites is either how can I support you? What are your needs? Or how would you like to be supported today? Right? Because it puts the onus on the other person to know their own needs in the relationship and to also communicate them to you, to ask for what they need, right? And in that, you still have the option, once you hear what they're asking for, to decide if you can or want to meet those needs.
Yeah, and if they're losing their shit because they don't know what they are and you get to say to your partner,
Yeah.
time out.
I'm going to wait till you figure out your needs, and I'll be here when you're ready.
Yeah, you don't just steamroll over them because they don't know and go into fix mode or fuck you mode, but that you say, or I'll meet my own needs if we don't know what yours are. Oh, Jesus, that's a great one. No, what we want is a partner that says, I'm going to call a timeout and put you in a timeout right now because lovingly I can see that you don't know what your needs are. I don't need to know until Thursday morning at 3, Friday afternoon at 5, or whatever it is. Take your time and I'll check back in with you again. And you can give, if it's appropriate, a by when, and you keep your word. You go back Thursday morning at 3 or Friday at 5 and say, hey, I said I would give you time. Have you had a chance to think about it, or do you need more time? And that person realizes that their thought process matters. Because that's how we lose ourselves in a relationship, is when we don't do that. Or the person says, these are my needs, and we go, and we pay no attention to them. Well, that's how you shut your partner down.
Yeah, well, it's rejection.
Absolutely. And we have a shutdown happening, and then we wonder why they had the affair, or we wonder why they're angry with us, or why they won't talk to us, or why they're doing more and more with their friends and the kids than they are with us.
I just wanted to elaborate too that, you still have a choice to decide whether or not you want to or can meet their needs. And so in let's say a situation where both of you have an insanely busy day and your partner says to you, you know what, I need lunch today. Do you think you could handle lunch for me? And you might self-evaluate your own schedule and go, I can't manage lunch today. How else can I support you? Right? So there's an intention to problem solve. There's an intention to still show that engagement and that support. I've always said I'm a big fan of enthusiasm because it shows the person you still desire, right? You still want to be there, even if you can't do the first thing that they've asked for.
You might not be able to do any of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know. We could go on forever.
And there are tons more questions, and I think that it's great. We've got 5 shows to do because I think that people could listen to the other 4 shows and be able to extrapolate from each of them. I'm going to suggest, it's something that I like doing, especially for clients, is just to say things like that you can make a rolodex of the questions. You could type them up on your computer, save a copy on your phone. You can put a favorite question or 2 on your fridge or on your bathroom mirror. Whatever it is that you want, how you want to be playful and be able to incorporate them into your day. So that you don't just think, oh yeah, I listened to a show about 3 years ago. It was really good, but I don't remember anything. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to take a question or 2 and put it into your life every day till it becomes routine, and then add another and another and another until, oh my God, you've all grown up. Right?
Cool. Okay. So, the first episode is free. You're listening to it either online or on YouTube. But if you're wanting the other 4, please join us on patreon.com. You can search patreon.com/bysarlo. You can sign up for any of the tiers that you might be interested in, depending on the content that, piques your interest. And that's something that you can kind of flow easily into and out of as those needs change as well. So you're never trapped. But the intention is to raise emotional intelligence and intuitive intelligence.
So Kelly, to clarify for people who aren't familiar with Patreon, if they like this show and they think, oh, I'm going to go in and I want to buy just for this month because I want the level that has the 5 shows, they could buy just the month.
They could buy just the month. Yep, absolutely.
I just want to make sure it's super clear so that they think, okay, I'm going to do that. And then if it shows value, they might think, oh, I'll try another month.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay.
Wonderful.
If you have questions or comments about today's show, you can email us at info@bysarlo.com. Otherwise, have a great Monday.